Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Shankweiler's Drive-In Theater. Our snack bar is open, and we've got our full menu tonight: burgers, hot dogs, fries, funnel cakes, and of course, the best popcorn in the Lehigh Valley. Please double, triple, and quadruple check that all of your headlights and running lights are turned off. Without further ado, on with the show. Shankweiler's was listed for sale off and on for 6 to 7 years.
We were all just very nervous that it was going to get leveled and made into apartments or a warehouse.
I had the qualifications, we had the background, we had the blueprints to redefine the business, so who else was going to do it but us? I'm Matthew McClanahan, and I'm 35 years old.
I'm Lauren McChesney, and I'm 41 years old.
And we're the owners of Shankweiler's Drive-In Theater in Orfield, Pennsylvania. Shankweiler's is a first-run theater. That means we predominantly play brand new movies.
We do a double feature every night.
So in the summer months, we skew to family-friendly programming, a lot of PG and PG-13 movies that bring in large family crowds from both the area and beyond. And in the winter months, as it gets colder and schools open back up, we skew our programming to a more adult audience.
So we have a little something for everybody.
Some of our expenses are our utilities and power. That's a huge one, especially given the size of our projection equipment and all of our kitchen equipment drawing a lot of current. Film licensing is the number one. That's really where we spend most of our money. A little bit over 50% of what we earn on ticket revenue goes right back to the studio, and that's the average.
It's about a third of our entire operating expense. Writing a $50,000 payment to a movie studio is still...
It's still a little gut-wrenching. In the summer months, we have a larger crew operating the snack bar, and that adds up. Food cost of goods sold, that fluctuates pretty wildly depending on how popular a movie is, the time of year. With studio payments, it's dependent on how many tickets we sell. So if the studio payment is high, it's because we've earned a lot of money. The mortgage does not change. It does not care if you sold tickets or not. I have a background in film and filmmaking, and Shankweiler specifically, it was my childhood theater growing up. So for me, this is kind of a personal full circle experience. Lauren and I wanted to build our own drive-in. We were hitting a lot of roadblocks with that, but we were learning a lot on the way.
I was still working in healthcare at that point. I was working in marketing for a hospice, and I was very tired of that. So I started going with Matt when he did his mobile shows.
There was a local news article which basically said the owners are looking to sell. They're hoping to keep it a drive-in, but they're entertaining all offers because they were ready to retire.
It was kind of one of those things where we never thought we would be able to afford it. So we would just be like, oh, I hope someone buys it someday.
It was in February that I finally met the owners and the realtor and toured the property. I came home and talked to Lauren, and we just said, okay,
we'll figure it out.
Let's do it.
We scrounged up as much money as we possibly could from every resource.
We were actually very fortunate because the sellers were willing to seller finance a portion of that loan. Since we were able to privately finance out $50,000, that took the SBA loan down to that $1 million flat.
We closed on the drive-in on November 4th, 2022, and we reopened it for business on November 11th, 2022. It's not common for drive-ins to be open year-round on the East Coast, but it's not unheard of.
We're still taking a loss in wintertime operations, but it's less so if you have some revenue coming in versus no revenue at all.
2 weeks after we bought the drive-in, the projector failed spectacularly and we had to shut down.
We didn't have a tech, we couldn't afford a tech, so I had to learn how to repair it myself.
We didn't have any working capital, we had barely any experience. We had momentum going into it and immediately started to lose that momentum because people thought we were closed for the season. So we had a lot of challenges right off the bat. First year, we didn't really pay ourselves.
We paid just enough to put groceries on the table. It wasn't until year 2 that we were able to regularly set money aside each month and pay ourselves a more reliable salary. Shankweiler's is really only profitable, I would say, about 4 months out of the year, and it makes the majority of its revenue within June, July, and August, with July being usually the most profitable month of the year. And that is what carries the theater for the entire rest of the year.
We have certain times of the year, though, that really depend on the movie. Wicked last year, when it came out in November, we had a huge crowd come. So that's a month that normally isn't exceptionally profitable, but became profitable because there was a good movie that people wanted to see.
Obviously, there's a certain level of nostalgic charm, but the 50s snack bar, our classic CinemaScope screen, that is part of the magic of the drive-in experience, and you don't want to modernize that too much, otherwise it loses a bit of that soul that it has.
Matt and I are still very hands-on. We actually get that comment a lot from customers who come and they're like, oh, I thought you were the owners. I didn't realize you actually did things. We have always been doing everything.
I typically arrive at the theater around 2 o'clock. That's when I take inventory and assess what we need to restock. I'll spot clean whatever I think is out of order, and then I'll clean the bathrooms, and then Lauren and I walk the field, get that spruced up. Around then is when crew starts rolling in and opening up the snack bar. At that time, it's around 6:30, and then at 7 o'clock, we'll open the gates. And we're also enhancing going to the movies. And we do that by installing little photo ops that we build, extra decorations. We'll bring in a lot of outside food and drink vendors.
I thought it was gonna feel a lot scarier to give up my previous career, but instead I feel like I connect with this a little bit more. When I worked in healthcare, I was there every single day because hospitals don't close. In this position, I can make time to go get coffee with a friend, or I can clear out my schedule for a whole day and just decide this is my recovery day, I'm not gonna do anything.
It's a high stress, high reward operation. I question it constantly. But when the movies are playing and you're watching hundreds of people share this amazing experience and they're having a great time and everyone's happy, it's like that weight is just lifted and you realize this is why we're doing it, because the community is coming together in this space and we're facilitating something really special.